gentlemen, the Columbia Broadcasting System invites you to sit back, relax, and listen to Eddie Anderson in The Private Life of Rochester Van Jones. Rochester, you look sad. What's the trouble?
I've got a problem. It looks like I'm going to lose my girl, Suzy. She's been having dates with another fella.
He's making pretty good time with her, huh?
Time and a half. And double time on Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays.
Yes, it's The Private Life of Rochester Van Jones. The amusing adventures of the happy-go-lucky fellow who works for that famous man in Beverly Hills, and brought to you by the Columbia Broadcasting System. This afternoon, we find Rochester just going up the steps of his girl's house.
Kiss me once and kiss me twice and kiss me once again. It's been a long, long...
Oh, Franklin, darling, I was just waiting for you.
Franklin? Look again, honey.
Oh, it's you.
Can I come in?
Uh-huh.
Cheer up, honey. The captain of your love boat is here to set sail on a voyage of love and adventure.
Rochester, why did you open that closet door?
I'm looking for a stowaway.
Rochester.
Well, we might as well lay our cards on the table. It seems like I'm losing ground to this Franklin fellow.
Well, Franklin takes me places and shows me a good time. Yesterday he took me on a picnic, and today he's taking me driving.
Well, you've had some pretty good times with me, too, Suzy. Last week I took you to a movie, didn't I?
Rochester, taking me down to the corner radio store and letting me look through the window at a television isn't exactly taking me to a movie.
Well, what about that bag of popcorn?
I bought that.
Oh, yes. Well, I can't afford too many luxuries.
A movie isn't a luxury. If you'd work out a budget, you'd be able to afford a movie once in a while.
Honey, I can't even afford a budget. Besides, you used to like to stay home and sit on the couch with me. What's happened, Suzy?
Well, I'm tired of a man who keeps one arm around me and the other under cushions looking for loose change. Why aren't you like Franklin? Oh, look, Franklin bought me this 5-pound box of chocolates.
Wait a minute. I just noticed that picture on the mantelpiece. So
yes, that's Franklin Monroe. Isn't he handsome? That picture was taken 5 years ago.
He was in uniform then, huh?
Uh-huh.
1, 2, 3... 4 ribbons on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
And 5 stripes on his sleeve.
Uh-huh.
Where was he stationed?
In the balcony of the Orpheum.
Oh, yeah. That's a flashlight in his holster. Well, I guess it ain't up to me to say anything about him, but he sure has shifty eyes.
Shifty eyes?
And look at the way his ears droop. I read someplace that that's the mark of a criminal.
Rochester.
Honey, I'm sorry I said anything. It just slipped out. I hate a man who's always running other people down, even when they deserve it. I think Franklin's a great guy, and I know you'll be loyal to him whether he goes to jail or not.
Rochester, I want you to stop talking that way. Oh, that must be Franklin.
Hooray.
Oh, hello, Franklin. Come in.
Hello, baby.
This is Rochester.
Rochester? This can't be the same Rochester you told me about the first time I took you up to Mulholland Drive and tried to kiss you. You said he was 6 feet tall and weighed 200 pounds.
Well, I didn't know you very well then.
Well, glad to meet you, old man.
Hello.
Oh, Franklin, you've got on a new suit.
Yeah, how you like it?
Oh, you look so handsome in it.
This is just a plain gabardine, but I'm going to get another suit with stripes.
That's just what I was telling Susan.
What?
Oh, nothing.
You ought to try my tailor, Rochester. He can run up a beautiful suit for $125. Of course, if you want something like this, why, it's a little more.
No, I like the material in the suit I'm wearing. It wears like iron.
Yeah, I notice it's rusted through at the elbows. Suzy, honey, you're looking more beautiful than ever.
Oh, Franklin.
You sure are the most glamorous creature in the world.
Well, it's nice of you to say that, but I know you're just flattering me.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Yes, you are. I'm not that pretty. Am I, Rochester?
Of course not.
Rochester!
I'm I'm just trying to be agreeable.
Well, Suzy, you ready to go?
Yeah, as soon as I get my coat on. What car do you have today?
Now, my boss let me take the Cadillac. The 2 big cars are being lubricated.
He sure is nice to you, Franklin. And you get a big salary, too.
You drive his Cadillac and get a salary, too?
Well, of course.
How long has this been going on?
He appreciates having a man of intelligence around him. And I appreciate working for the most important and one of the most generous men in Beverly Hills. What about your boss?
He's important. He's important.
Well, say, tell me, did he let you have his car today?
Oh, he would have, but I was in a hurry, so I walked. But he's a wonderful guy.
Yeah? Is he generous?
He's got a great sense of humor, too. And very democratic. Whenever the car breaks down, he always gets out and helps me push.
Any boss would do that once in a while.
We do it all the time.
I'm ready, Franklin.
My arm, Suzy. Come in, Rochester?
Okay.
Can I drop you anywhere, Rochester?
No, thanks.
Get right in, honey. Well, goodbye, Rochester. Nice seeing you, old man.
Goodbye, Rochester.
Goodbye.
Hello, Rochester.
Hello, Devilgrass.
I'm going to have to ask you to move a little. I'm going to turn on the sprinklers.
Turn 'em on, turn 'em on. What if I do get wet and catch pneumonia and die? Who cares?
Well, Rochester, you look like a man who won a television set and then found out he was allergic to horses.
Worse than that. Susie's brushing me off for another guy.
What's the matter with that girl? How could she turn down a man like you for somebody else?
That's a question I've been avoiding all afternoon.
Now, I can see why a girl turns me down. I'm just a gardener, and I'm the biggest nobody around here. But, man, you got everything.
I have?
Yeah, and for one thing, you're a real sharp dresser, and you know clothes. Why, when you put a suit on, it looks like you the first one that ever wore it.
Thanks.
Why, you shouldn't have to worry about competition. You got brains, and you're smart as a whip.
That's right.
You're handsome, a good conversationalist, and you got a nice build on you, and you know lots of important people, and you're right in the middle of the social world.
Yeah.
Now, what's your problem with Suzy?
I'm too good for her.
What?
I mean, I wish I were all those things, but I'm not. I've come to the reluctant conclusion that happiness is just a thing called money. If I could pick up a little extra change, I'd be setting pretty.
Well, don't you make enough now?
It wouldn't be ethical for me to tell you what the boss pays me. But if I quit, my unemployment compensation would be a luxury.
Well, if you're looking for a part-time job, my cousin was telling me that there's always an opening for a collector at the Friendly Finance Company.
Collector for the finance company, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. I think I'll go over and see if they can use me.
I sure wish you luck, Rochester. But do you know anything about finance companies?
Sure. When I was a kid, my mother bought a piano that was financed, and whenever we missed a payment, they took it back.
Did you miss many payments?
I did more practicing in the moving van than at home.
Friendly Finance Company. One moment, please. It's for you, Mr. Finch. It's Mr. Emerson.
Thank you, Miss Kendall. Hello? Emerson? I sent you out to make a $3 collection, and I don't hear from you for 4 days. Where have you been? General Hospital? He threw you down 3 flights of stairs. Broke your jaw, smashed your nose, and cracked your ribs. Oh, that's horrible. You tell me, boy, did you get the $3? Well, just relax and get well. Remember, the Friendly Finance Company stands behind its employees. And don't worry about Dr. Bills. We'll give you a loan.
What happened to Emerson, Mr. Finch?
Now, one of our accounts beat him up, and he's in the hospital just when I need him the most. That's gratitude for you.
That's terrible.
Yeah, everything happens to me.
Mr. Finch, there's a man in the outer office who'd like to get on as a temporary collector.
A temporary collector? Miss Kendall, in this firm, that's the only kind of collector we have. You show him in.
Yes, Mr. Finch. And Mr. Finch will see you now, Mr. Van Jones.
Thank you.
Come right in, come right in. Sit down and make yourself comfortable, Mr. Van Jones.
Thank you. Nice little office you have here.
Yes, we like it. Miss Kendall tells me you'd like to pick up a little extra cash working for us in your spare time.
Yes, sir.
Well, it just happens we need a part-time collector.
Good. I need to make a little extra cash to keep in good standing with my girl.
I understand. Now, I'll explain a few things while you fill out the application card. Your full name, address, and so on.
Yes, sir.
As you probably know, we loan money on cars and household items, and when the payments aren't met, the collector either gets the money or the item we loaned it on. Now, you get a commission on each account you collect.
Say, I filled out everything else, but what's this for?
Where?
Right here, where it says next of kin.
Just a technicality. Put down your closest living relative. And also put your signature on this.
What is it?
A life insurance policy I take out on all our collectors. Every once in a while, I strike it rich. Sign right here.
Rochester Van Jones.
Now, here's another one.
Let's see. I, the undersigned, do hereby release the Friendly Finance Company from any responsibility of any kind.
There's no need to read that. I trust you.
Even the small print has small print. Well, I might as well sign it. Here you are.
Thank you. You're now officially a collector for the Friendly Finance Company. Let me congratulate you on winning this position and allow me to offer you every good wish for your future success.
Thank you. Now, if there are any collections you want me to make...
Collector, I gotta see him right away.
Wait, you can't go in there.
Who's the collector of this finance company?
You're looking at him right now. What can I do for you?
Just hold that pose. That'll teach you to take my mother's lawnmower away.
Are you all right? Shall I get you some water?
Where am I?
You're at the Friendly Finance Company, located at 5th and Vine in the heart of the low-rent district.
I'm lying on the floor and he's advertising.
Here, I'll help you up. Miss Kendall, give me a hand.
Of course.
Oh, I can't feel my nose.
Move your hand to the left a little.
You poor thing. That man had absolutely no right to hit you.
We've got the law on our side, you know.
We have?
He won't get away with it either. We'll sue him for every cent he's got.
Good.
And you can collect it.
Oh, no.
Well, it's a little later, and Rochester is telling his gardener friend Devilgrass Simpson about the Friendly Finance Company.
Say, Rochester, how you making out with your job at the Friendly Finance Company?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's interesting work. They told me the first thing I have to do when making a collection is put my foot in the door.
Well, that's good advice.
It didn't work out so good for me. The man I was trying to collect from was sitting in the car, and before I could get my foot back out, he dragged me for 3 blocks.
Listen in tomorrow to The Private Life of Rochester Van Jones, starring Eddie Anderson, brought to you at the same time every night by the Columbia Broadcasting System. The Private Life of Rochester Van Jones is written by John L. Green. This production is supervised by Sam Perrin. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Ladies and gentlemen, the Columbia Broadcasting System invites you to sit back, relax, and listen to Eddie Anderson in The Private Life of Rochester Van Jones. Rochester, you were having a little trouble with your girl. How are you making out now?
Not so good. She's crazy about Franklin Monroe.
Just because he has money?
Yeah, Suzy wants someone who can support her for the rest of her life.
Well, can't you do that?
Only if she doesn't live past Friday.
Yes, it's the private life of Rochester Van Jones. The amusing adventures of the happy-go-lucky fellow who works for that famous man in Beverly Hills, and brought to you by the Columbia Broadcasting System. Well, Rochester has needed a little extra cash to help him regain the affections of his girl, Suzy. So, to get it, he's become a part-time collector for the Friendly Finance Company. This morning, we find him standing on Suzy's front porch, knocking on the door for the second time.
Doesn't seem to be anybody home. That's funny. Maybe she's in the garden around the side. I love a gal who grows her own groceries. I'll go over to the side of the porch and take a look. Uh-oh, there's Suzy now, and she's talking over the back fence to Lila Edwards.
Right now, if I had to decide between Franklin and Rochester, I don't know which one I'd choose.
Well, when you make up your mind, Suzy, throw the other one to me.
Lila, what would you do if you had two men that were taking you out and dating you and trying to kiss you all the time, and you had to choose between them?
What would I do? I'd toss a coin and hope it come down sideways.
Serious, Lila.
Well, personally, I like a man who takes me to nice places.
Well, last week Franklin took me to the Palladium. Gee, I never knew they had such a beautiful dance floor.
Wait a minute. You told me the other day that Rochester took you there, too.
I know, but Franklin took me inside.
One shagging would be outside anyway. I'd better pretend I'm just getting here.
I wish I could complain about having too many men.
Hello, Rochester.
Hello, honey. Hello, Lila.
Well, I guess you two want to be alone. Bye.
Goodbye, Lila.
Suzy, I came over to ask you for a date for this evening.
Oh, but Rochester, it takes money to go on dates. And I've got a vague idea you're always short of money.
That isn't just a vague idea. That's the complete story. But not for long, honey. Your dreamboat has become a temporary businessman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm a collector for the Friendly Finance Company, and I get a commission on every account I collect.
Oh, that's wonderful.
As a matter of fact, I'm on my way to the office right now.
Oh, you've got an office of your own?
Well, not exactly an office.
Oh, you mean you've got a desk?
Well, I wouldn't say that either.
Well, what do you have then?
A pad, a pencil, and a standing permit to use the payphone at the corner gas station. Anyway, I'll have money to take you out tonight.
Well, I don't know, Rochester. Franklin wants to take me to the opening of the Melody Club.
Well, let me take you, Suzy. I'll have the money. I figure a night at the Melody Club, including the cover charge, will come to exactly $10, and I'll get that.
Well, how do you expect to get out without leaving a tip?
Shag, baby, shag. Well, if I'm going to raise that dough, I'd better get over to the office. Good morning, Mr. Finch.
Good morning, Rochester. I see you're here bright and early.
Yeah, I got to make some fast money. So just hand me that list of collections and point me in the right direction. I'm on my way out of the no-income bracket.
Good. Let's look over the list and see what there is for you. Let's see. You might try this one, Martin Smith. Just be polite and tell him who you are. And remember, you have the law on your side.
Well, what'd he buy that he hasn't paid for?
A double-barreled shotgun.
Let's look over the list a little further. How about this one?
No, that one's too easy. He wants to give up the item he got financed anyway. It's a television set.
Oh, why is he so anxious to give it back?
When he bought it, he didn't know about Arthur Godfrey. Here we are. Rochester, if you can collect this delinquent account, you'll get $8 commission.
Now you're talking. What's his name?
Jake Zelinkas.
That name sounds familiar.
Well, it should. He's the leading contender for the heavyweight wrestling championship.
Are you sure you don't have any desk work for me to do?
No, our last collector is coming back to do that as soon as he gets out of the hospital. Now, I want you to collect from Jake Zelinkas.
Jake Zelinkas? He's a pretty good wrestler, isn't he?
Oh, yes. He's gone through 10 of our collectors undefeated. But don't you worry about that. Think of the $8.
I wish you'd make it 10.
Why?
I'd like to leave a large estate. Hello, Devilgrass.
Hello, Rochester.
Devilgrass, you're the best friend I've got, so I came over for some advice. But I see you're busy.
Oh, no, I'm through trimming this hedge. Come on in the kitchen. What's your problem, Rochester?
Well, Suzy had a date to go to the opening of the Melody Club with Franklin Monroe, but she said she'd break it when I told her I'd have enough money to take her there. But I haven't got the money yet, and if I don't get it, that'll be the end.
Oh, can't raise the money, huh?
Not unless I make a collection.
Well, make the collection. It sounds easy.
From a 240-pound wrestler? I'm talking about Jake Zelinkas. I can get hurt if he just leans on me.
Well, the only way to handle a fella like that is to shame him into it. If he hits you, turn the other cheek.
Devil Grass, after Jake Zelinkas hits you on one cheek, there's nothing left of the other one either.
Excuse me. Hello? Who? Just a minute. Are you here, Rochester?
Who is it?
It's a woman.
They always find me. Yeah, I'm here.
He says he's here. Hold the phone. Here you are.
Hello?
Hello, Rochester. This is Suzy. I broke the date with Franklin, and now I can go to the Melody Club with you tonight. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad I'm not going with Franklin this time. Oh, he's handsome and intelligent. A wonderful dancer. But it'll be nice to have a change.
Thanks.
You'll have the money, won't you?
Yeah, I'll have the money.
Rochester, you don't sound very sure. And I want to tell you something. I broke that date with Franklin to go with you. And if you disappoint me this time, we're really through.
Now, honey.
And I mean it.
Don't worry, Suzy. I'll have the money.
Well, I'll see you tonight, Rochester. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I just don't know what to do. Somehow this Zelinkas frightens me. I'm really worried.
Oh, Rochester, you forget that you've got broad shoulders, strong arms, and you've got coordination that's just built for striking power. Why, you don't realize what you can do. You've got hidden resources.
That's right.
Why, when you arouse, you've got the strength of 7 men, the courage of a lion, the snarling ferocity of a wounded tiger.
Yeah.
Now, why are you worried about Zelinkas?
I'm afraid I'll kill him.
Oh, nurse. Hey, nurse.
Here I am, Mr. Zelinkas. I was in the kitchen.
Could you move this pillow a little? I'm in terrible pain.
Oh, of course. I'll fluff it up for you.
Thanks.
There, now. That ought to be better.
Thanks, nurse. Thanks.
Oh, I didn't realize a man could get so badly hurt in a wrestling match. Why, you got both your arms broken, a fractured leg, and 3 cracked ribs.
Yeah.
Is wrestling always that dangerous?
No, it never would have happened if I hadn't missed the rehearsal. But will you get the door, nurse?
Yes?
Is Mr. Zelinkas in?
Yes, he is.
That's too bad.
Well, you've come at a rather an awkward time. I just hope you won't upset him.
I endorse that feeling 100%, and I hope it's vice versa with him.
You see, he wrestled a man last night and broke his arms, fractured his leg, and cracked some of his ribs.
I can take the census anytime. Goodbye.
Well, maybe by the time you come back, Mr. Zelinkas will have recovered.
Yes, I hope so, too, and... Wait a minute. You mean Mr. Zelinkas is the one that got busted up last night?
Yes, it was awful.
Well, where is he now?
He's in bed.
Can he move at all?
Oh, no, he's absolutely helpless.
What's
the matter with you?
Stand aside, lady. Rochester Van Jones is about to make a collection.
Rochester, do you mean you actually collected the $100 from Zelinkas?
Sure, all in a day's work. It was nothing.
This is amazing. Was he mad when you asked him for the money?
Yeah, he felt terrible. He was all broken up.
I can't believe it.
It's true. When I left, he had a broken arm, a fractured leg, and a couple of cracked ribs.
Little but mighty, eh?
Now, about my $10 commission.
Hey, it's worth it. Here you are.
Thanks. I've got to run along now, Mr. Finch. My girl is waiting for me to crush her in my arms.
Oh, by the way, there's one more collection I'd like to have you make. This one here from Mrs. Jackson. It's right on your way. You'll be able to pick up a couple of more bucks.
Good, good. Then I'll be able to take Suzy in a taxi. Yes, sir, this is my lucky day. I just have to make this last collection, and I'm off to Suzy. How do you do? I'd like to see Mrs. Jackson.
I'm Miss Jackson. Won't you come in?
Yes, thank you.
My, it's so nice to see a friendly face. Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
I'm always so happy when I have a visitor, especially when it's a fine young man like you. I'll fix some tea for you. I haven't got any cookies, but I'll put a piece of toast on the stove. How'll that be?
Oh, just fine. I'd better get this over before I lose my nerve. Mrs. Jackson, I'm from the Friendly Finance Company.
Please don't call me Miss Jackson. Just call me Mother.
Do you know you're 3 months overdue on your payments? Mother? 3 months overdue.
Yes, I'm afraid I do, son. But I haven't got a penny in the house.
If you can't make the payments, I'll have to take your stove back. Mother? Really, I will.
First, have your tea. I hope you don't want it too strong. After I use the tea bag a few times, it loses a little flavor.
I know I'm going to hate myself for this, but I have to do my duty.
Here's your tea, son.
Thank you.
And here's your toast.
Thanks. Mrs. Jackson, that stove is awfully important to you, isn't it? You have to cook on it.
Well, most of the time I just use it to keep the room warm. But I haven't any money, so I guess you'll just have to...
No, I don't, Mrs. Jackson. I've made up my mind. I'm not going to take that stove away from you.
But if you don't, you'll lose your job. You better take it right now.
No, I can't.
But you got to. Yeah. I'll help you carry.
Wait a minute. Just a minute now. I happen to have $10 in my pocket, and that'll pay you up to date.
Oh, son, I can't let you do that. You probably need the money.
Oh, me? I'm loaded. Here's your receipt.
Thank you, son.
That's all right. Goodbye. Mother? Well, it looks like I'm not going out with Suzy tonight. The only thing I don't understand is how can a guy feel so miserable and so wonderful at the same time?
Well, things didn't turn out too bad for Rochester and Suzy. In fact, right now, they're at the Melody Club.
This sure is a nice place, and the food is good, too. Are you enjoying yourself, Suzy?
Oh, I sure am. And I think it was very broad-minded of you, too, to invite Franklin to come along with us.
Broad-minded nothing. Somebody's got to pay the check.
I wonder if Rochester was so smart after all. Sure, Franklin paid the check, but that only made him a bigger man in Suzy's eyes. What's Rochester going to do now? Listen in tomorrow to The Private Life of Rochester Van Jones, starring Eddie Anderson. Brought to you at the same time every night by the Columbia Broadcasting System. The Private Life of Rochester Van Jones is written by John L. Green. This production is supervised by Sam Perrin. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.